primarily we were doing work in civil rights. But when 2002 happened, we found that the scale of it was so devastating. The ordinary type of civil rights work would not work. We also understood the political connotations of those days. It was very clear that a party was trying to polarize the entire society, and these communal rights were being used as tools to divide it. So one of the foremost considerations for us was how not to allow this to happen. Because if they succeed in dividing, they will succeed in their politics. So our primary concern was, so we never looked at it as a Muslim question. We looked at it as a very important democratic, secular democracy, question of secular democracy.
But this kind of things, this kind of violence doesn't come about all of a sudden, right? The historical process that has been going on in Gujarat for a long time.
It is not just Gujarat. If you have to link it up, it starts way back when I think the BJP wanted to come to the central power, and that starts even pre-Babri Masjid. I would go back all the way to 87 when they first started their demand for the opening of the mandir.
Right.
So it starts much before, and I think by the time they come to Babri Masjid, they realize that the communal divide is the only way to get the Hindu votes. So instead of flinching or feeling any remorse, they in fact go ahead with the Ayodhya march. I think that was from Porbandar to Ayodhya.
Somnath to Ayodhya.
Sorry,
yeah,
Somnath to Ayodhya.
Right.
That was the great march of. I think that was the beginning of the divide, and I think the first bloodshed, which was purely on political consideration, that started after that Advani's march. So,
but even before, BJP has always been involved in communal rights locally. You know, I've gone through Jamshedpur 1979, and a BJP MLA was heavily involved. At that time, it was Janata Party, obviously, but then he became BJP, and after that, he continued to win for longest time because he gained from those rights.
Absolutely, you're right. It is just like using a gun.
But
use a gun for shooting a single guy, but you use guns for winning a war.
Right.
So it is a weapon.
Yeah.
So I'm not suggesting that BJP discovered the weapon of riot.
Right.
But they certainly use the weapon of riot as a political tool.
Yeah. So why is India prone to violence? I mean, it's large-scale violence. So, example of 1983, Delhi, 1984, sector riots in Delhi. And then, obviously Gujarat 2002, but before that 93 in Mumbai also, really huge scale. Why is that? What is the failure of politics, failure of administration, or failure of the society that, we're not able to stop these kind of things?
It's not a failure because all of these were targeted. So it was not a failure, it was rather, I would say, an unfortunate success. Success of combining the state power with the politics. See, why India sees such large-scale violence and gets away with it is the state gets involved with it. And once the state gets involved with a political party, the ruling party in most of the cases, in conducting the whole violence, then they safeguard the activists, safeguard those people who indulge in this violence. Then they can also neutralize the bureaucracy and the police. So therefore the large scale or the massiveness of the violence takes place because there's nobody to protect it.
So let me ask you this. So one party does the violence. So why is the other political party, if we're talking about the political process, should capitalize on it and use it? So, for example, BJP to a certain extent did it in anti-Sikh violence in 1984, but in Gujarat, Congress has failed to put up a front to the BJP.
Well, I'll answer the first one later. Now, so far as Gujarat is concerned, you see, BJP has been trying to come to central power. For coming to central power, they need a large chunk, at least 36% of the Hindu votes. Now, historically speaking, the Muslim votes have gone to the Congress. So let's put approximately about 7% votes. So this vote they can't get. Now, if they have to come to power, they have to only expect for votes from the Hindu side. So this is a mechanism they believed, and I think they politically were unfortunately correct, that this method would polarize the society, and what they wanted to pose, and they again successfully posed because of the absence of the resistance from Congress, is that Congress is a Muslim party and it looks after the Muslim interest, and there is nobody to look after the Hindu interest. Now this contradiction they could project out, which I don't think has any basis, because Congress has done precisely anything for the Muslims. But this perception has come amongst the Hindus that Congress is doing a lot for the Muslims and neglecting the Hindus. Now the BJP has kept on harping on this issue almost the last 20 years, and now they have got people buying it. Now even then they were not really winning. It is the violence that really brought the polarization. And I think Gujarat stands out because they gave a very important label to the violence also. You see, the first time the question of Islamic terrorism was brought in, the Gujarat Godhra train burning. Now, once you project it as a terrorist attack, then there is going to be a reaction from the Hindus, and that is precisely what happened next day. You see, just VHP and Bajrang Dal activists can't do this massive scale of violence. It's just beyond them. They needed mobs to come out, and that's precisely that happened. It is any time on the day 28, there were 25 to 50,000 people on the road. They were not activists. They were ordinary people who were organized in this evil manner.
So can you talk about what is Jan Sangharsh March? What are you guys doing through that, through your organization?
So far as Jan Sangharsh is concerned, it was a civil rights movement, as I told you. But after 2002, we quite realized that civil rights and protecting civil rights would have a meaning if there are a civilized society functioning. You can't talk about civil rights when the rule of the jungle is prevailing. So we started changing our methods, we started changing our outlook, including we registered a political party also.
Okay, yeah, and you were in the election, right?
Yeah, we did, yeah. So because we understood that what was happening was politics. All this violence has nothing to do with anything else other than politics.
Right.
So unless you yourself are in the politics to talk politically, I think the people are not going to listen. So we made the party. The only purpose of making the party at that point of time was to get into the election process, because we know it's impossible to win, especially with Congress on one hand and BJP on the other. Our purpose was to use that time period and the
media attention.
Media attention to speak out, and we did speak out. We really brought the issues out to the extent that we got abused by both the parties. We said, fine, we are effective, that's why they are abusing us. And then we used law also to a very, very effective extent. Because we know that today in India, the legal system still functions quite well. It is no point, needless to point out that yes, it is going to tilt with the political weight. It's going to tilt with even religious bias. Yeah, it does.
Right.
But then, whatever it can deliver, we should get out of it. So even the democratic institutions like inquiry commissions, etc., we know they are not going to give us any results. But we didn't boycott any one of them. On the contrary, we trained ourselves how to utilize. None of us were criminal lawyers. Finally, we have now put up a team of more than 11 people.
So you've seen a lot of legal cases in Gujarat courts. Yeah.
Yes, we have done
So how many,
almost the entire encounter matters we are handling. Say Isra Jahan, then Sadiq Jamal, Saurabh Rabdi, Kausalvi, all the matters we are handling. Then in the entire Nanavati Commission work we did, only Jan Sangharsh, because others boycotted. We were the only people who did it. Then in Kota, we did the whole agitation, because we don't only do legal work, we also do mass activation. So we have done enormous protest rallies against Kota.
So in your what kind of victories or success you had in your legal effort?
Well, the
so
first
far?
success we had, I would say, indirect spin-off, is that as more and more information started coming out of Nanavati Commission, the media started grabbing it. Now that media, which was once quite biased against
You're talking
us,
about national media or local Gujarati media?
local, because local is most important for us.
Right.
Because it is the Gujarati population which is polarized. And Gujarati media is the one that we were concentrating. So Gujarati media, which used to dub the Muslims as terrorists, sooner or later, I think in the last 8 years, it has shifted its position. Now it is far more objective, far more objective.
Now, what brought about this change?
This, I think, truth has its own value. I think. The more the information started coming out, they also understood the news value of it, and they also found that the national media was taking enormous interest in all this. So the natural for the vernacular media to pick it up, and then slowly the truth started pouring out. The question of, I told you, Gotra, because our people say it is our obsession, but we try to keep Gotra at the center, because if we can convince the Hindus that Gotra is not a terrorist attack, I think we have more or less succeeded. And recently we have now got a judgment from our Gujarat High Court, which specifically states Gotra is not a terrorist. So now I think that's the legal victory. I'm going to show it also.
I mean, a lot of people work in Gujarat. Gujarat 2002 was really, shook the conscience of the nation, and a lot of people, dedicated now their life. We can take an example of Tista Setowal, Shabnam Hashmi, Harsh Manzar, you. But all of you people, I mean, Tista is kind of Gujarati. They came out of Gujarat. Why? I mean, is there anything among the Gujarati society, people in Gujarat, saying, this is total nonsense. This shouldn't be happening here, and we have to do something about this. Is there some personality, some movement emerging out of Gujarat, not people coming from outside?
I think it's a rather wrong impression created. I think Gujaratis are as communal or as less communal as anybody else in the country. It is not true to call them more communal than others. In fact, to some extent, because a lot of work was done from outside, Modi got the opportunity to project it as if it was a fight between Gujaratis and outsiders.
Right.
We understood it. We understood the tactics. We therefore, from Jan Sangharsh Manch, we made it a point that the battleground would be Gujarat. We are the only group that demands that all matters have to be fought in Gujarat. We have in fact told other activists that please don't demand that things should go outside. Why should it go outside? We will. He has
You mean
committed the blindness here.
transfer of cases
Matters,
that was demand to do
because
that?
that gave the Gujarat government the opportunity to continuously make this propaganda that outsiders are tarnishing the image of Gujarat. So we said, well, we are here. We are not going to go out. Me and my wife, she's a Gujarati.
Okay.
I am also part of Gujarat for 33 years. We said, fine, we are not going to go out. We create the basis of the struggle in Gujarat, and today I think we have a very good basis. In 2007, we had a peace rally. We call it a unity rally of all communities. It crossed 10,000 mark.
The people that attended the
Yeah,
rally.
yeah. It was massive.
Where was
Hindu,
it?
Muslim.
Ahmedabad?
And we marched through the most sensitive riot area. We went through Shahpur and came all the way up to the center of the city. So exactly the road where the rioting takes place, we held our rally. And Hindus, Muslims together. And it was almost approximately 50-50. 5,000 here, 5,000 there, all holding hands and walking through. I'll show you some pictures. I brought the pictures.
There are a lot of reports that Muslims have been completely marginalized in physical sense as well. So these are areas that are called Pakistan. How true is that? That's still going on, or is that slowed down a bit, or people coming back?
No, that's. But I'll tell you one thing. It is there. That separation is there. But let me tell you that this is not 2002 separation. It gets wrongly identified with 2002. Actually, it started with 1969. In fact, that riot was much bigger in terms of deaths. It was a much bigger riot. At that time, it was the Congress. The separation and displacement started then. And then Juapura came up in 80s. And now it houses the maximum number of Muslims, about, I think, 4 lakhs of them. And Hindus also started moving away from Muslim areas. So in Gujarat, the polarization was almost complete by 2002. It's not that 2002 created the polarization. Yes, all that happened was that small pockets of Muslims where they got scared, the security question, they fully shifted away and went away to the dominated area.
So you are here in the United States for a few weeks, and you will be touring a lot of cities in the U.S. So what message you are giving to Indian Americans living here, and also what you want to get out of this?
Well, I call it a tour of secular hope. I personally think that India is the right place where this experiment, a contra-experiment, can be carried out, where people of two community can certainly come together and fight out the common enemy. And that common enemy is not a party, it's the communal politics. And India may be one of the rarest places on this earth where people of two religious groups can work together, because there is no economic contradiction and no other contradiction. It is created contradiction. In fact, if you see the images that are created by BJP to bring this contradiction are from past. They talk of Babri Masjid, they talk of everything from past. So their hate message is not born out by present. So they have to go back in past to find the
point. Yeah, right.
So I tell them that present is ours, past was theirs.
So that's the message you want to give.
Yeah, we'll find it out together.
Well, thank you very much, and I wish you best for your tour here. Thank you.